3, 2, 1, go! Hello and welcome. Today we're going a little further. It's day 280, so we are going 28 kilometers. It's amazing that we've already gone so far. Today we're looking at numbers and they are quite impressive, I think. In 2024, I decided to run 2,000 kilometers in 1 year. I thought it was a great goal. It was about 40 kilometers each week on average, and a very decent goal, I thought. And I actually made it. On the 31st of December, I ran half a marathon and made it to 2,000.4 kilometers. So just exactly making the 2,000 kilometers I had set as a goal. I was thrilled. I felt great and I had achieved my goal. So everything was fine. I've been running for many years, but never all that seriously, just because I like it, and 2,000 kilometers felt like a perfect goal. And it was. I made it, even though it was actually quite hard, and I feel I spent a lot of time on it. Now, last year I set a very different goal, and I don't know how on earth I thought it was a good idea, but nonetheless, I did it. A much more ambitious goal than those 2,000 kilometers I had just finished half a year earlier. The goal was to maintain a running streak for 500 days, but with a twist. I wanted to start out slow with only 100 meters, but every day I would add 100 meters extra to yesterday's distance, meaning that on day 2 it would be 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters, etc. Now we're on day 280 and running 28 kilometers. But you remember that goal from 2024? 2,000 kilometers in a year? Well, now I've done it in 85 days. That's how much I'm running now. Now going from 365 days to 85 days seems ridiculous. But this method of mine, where I'm very slowly building up the kilometers, and remember, no breaks, it adds so many kilometers. And your ability to keep running just blows my mind. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. There are hard days for me where I really don't want to run. Just look at the video a couple of days ago. And then there are days where it's much easier, where I have more energy and feel that I can push on a bit faster. I'm not running that fast. Now, everything is relative. I'm normally able to keep it at under 6 minutes per kilometer, which for some is a very decent pace, me included. But my main concern is not speed. I want to take it nice and slow so that I can go all the way. I want to avoid injuries, and that's best done by taking it slowly. We can always build up speed another day. I would love to work on my pace and get a lot faster, but that's simply just another project. I don't want to risk getting injuries. The goal of 500 days and 50 kilometers is all that I'm concerned about right now, and in order to reach that goal, I just need to take it slow. This project is about consistency. It's about getting up every single morning and doing that run, adding those 100 meters and just keep going. It's not easy, but we're doing it. So some of you loonies out there might think that, wow, that sounds like a pretty cool project, maybe I should do it too. Absolutely, do it. Now I'm going to give some advice if you want to try this out. I know some out there are doing it, and which makes me so happy. I think the one who's furthest is about at day 85, so 8.5 kilometers each day, which is just amazing that someone is actually trying it out. But if you want to try it, there are a couple of things to consider. Now, I'm in a bit of a special situation because I made this challenge for myself And I wanted to make this YouTube video documenting the progress and so on, and that obligates a bit because I need to be out here every single day, and maybe you don't. So if you want to try this out, I think I would recommend maybe scheduling at least one day for recovery. Now, of course, you might think, okay, then what's the point? But it is rough getting out here every day. And if you schedule the day, you know, okay, maybe Saturday, I don't need to run. And then you can just take care of yourself that day. Now, I would recommend though that you schedule it pretty strictly and don't let it be dependent on mood or weather and so on, because that's when things start to slide and you're a bit, well, today is really bad weather, let me just skip. I haven't skipped for a long time, and maybe it's bad weather 2 days in a row, and maybe you have a birthday, and yeah, you know, that's when things start to slide, as I said. So if you do this, maybe schedule one day of rest every week, and then make certain it's the same day every week, because you will be challenged and you will be thinking some mornings, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go running, and that's where you need to push yourself to actually doing it. The second thing is that I started at 100 meters, and to be honest, it was pretty boring in the start. I don't know your running level. If you're running a lot already, maybe you're running 20 kilometers each week, maybe you're running 40, I don't know. But if you are used to running, I think maybe I would start at 3 kilometers, because it'll take you 1 month to go from 100 meters to 3 kilometers. And you might just think you're wasting your time. Now, if you are completely new to running, that might be the perfect way to start. Just going 100 meters, then 200 meters, then 300 meters, because then you're building up distance and you're getting used to the concept of running. But if you are a bit more experienced with running, I think you'll get bored in the start, and you might actually lose a bit of that fitness you have. I actually cheated a bit in the start. I ran somewhere, and then I ran 100 meters, and then I ran home. So some days maybe I just ran 3 kilometers even though I was going 200 meters. Other days I ran 8 kilometers even though I was only going half a kilometer. But going out the door just running 100 meters seemed a bit silly. But this is something only you know how you should deal with. Maybe you want to adhere strictly to the rules. 100 meters extra every day. No rest days, no recovery. And if you want to do it that way, I want to hear about it. I think that would be great. I can recommend it in the way that I've learned so much along the way. I am much better at listening to my body. There are still many things I don't know about, but I know a lot more than when I started. And I'm surprised at what my body can actually do. And maybe you'll be too. It's quite fascinating what you can do once you set a goal. I would never have thought that I would go running 200 kilometers in 1 week or 2,000 kilometers in 85 days. And I'm still pushing it. I have 220 more days to go now before reaching those 500 days and 50 kilometers. And I know there are many challenges ahead. I know there are things that will make me scream, no, I don't want to go out. And I know there will be days where I'll just be so happy I'm still running, and that I'll be amazed at how far I've gone and how much I have achieved. And it's rare to get that feeling. When were you last proud of something you did? When did you really sit down and say, wow, I did this, and I'm very, I was just about to say the F word, but I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of where I am now, of the many, many kilometers I've run. I want to continue to day 550 kilometers, and then we'll be done. Then new challenges awaits, but then I'm done with this project. We're almost done, 500 meters more, and we've done all 28 kilometers for today. It was a very wet and cold run, but we kept the pace. I had very good energy today, which was enjoyable, and we did it in well under 6 minutes per kilometer. Now I hope that some of you found some inspiration in the words I had to say today. You all possess the ability to do something special in your life. My choice was running. Yours might be something completely different, but going a little further every day might help you succeed in whatever your endeavor is. All in all, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I will see you again tomorrow for 28.1 kilometers. Have a wonderful Saturday. Bye. And there we go, 28 kilometers.